If you've been scrolling through endless lists of tankless water heaters, watching the same 8 GPM versus 10 GPM charts, and still feel stuck wondering which unit will actually keep up with a busy household, you're not alone. I've been in that exact spot, trying to balance the promise of endless hot water with the fear of a pricey mistake that ends up sitting idle, or, worse, never delivering the flow you need when the morning shower rush hits. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this review, I'm going to break down the real-world experience of the Rheem IKONIC 8.4 GPM natural gas tankless heater, so you can walk away knowing whether it's the right fit for your home or if you should keep looking. First off, the biggest question most people have is whether a tankless unit can actually replace the comfort of a traditional tank for a family that showers back-to-back, runs the dishwasher, and maybe even has a bathtub filling at the same time. The IKONIC's 8.4 GPM rating puts it in the sweet spot for a 3 to 4 person home when you're using standard low-flow fixtures. In practice, that means you can run 2 showers sequentially without the water turning lukewarm, and you'll still have enough capacity to handle a dishwasher cycle right after. I tested it in a typical suburban house where the bathroom fixtures are a mix of older shower heads and newer low-flow models. The water stayed comfortably hot for the entire shower, and the dishwasher never complained about a sudden temperature dip. One of the features that sets this Rheem model apart is its built-in recirculation system. Most tankless heaters rely on the cold water sandwich problem. You turn the tap on, get a burst of lukewarm water, then finally hot water arrives. The IKONIC's recirculation pump can be programmed to keep a small loop of hot water moving through your pipes during peak usage times. In my test house, I set it to activate for the first half hour after sunrise and again for an hour in the evening. The result was a noticeable reduction in the waiting time at the kitchen faucet. I was getting hot water in under 3 seconds instead of the usual 15-second lag you see with a plain tankless unit. For anyone who hates that initial cold splash, that's a practical win. On the flip side, the recirculation system does add a modest increase to the gas consumption. Rheem markets the unit as ultra-low NOx and claims a high seasonal efficiency, but the pump runs continuously during the programmed windows, so you'll see a slight uptick on your monthly gas bill compared to a unit without that feature. If you're on a very tight budget for utilities, you might weigh whether the convenience of instant hot water outweighs that incremental cost. Installation is another area where the IKONIC tries to differentiate itself. The product is marketed as maximum install flexibility, and that claim holds up if you have a skilled plumber or are comfortable with a DIY retrofit. The unit is sized to fit in standard 2x4 wall cavities, which means you can replace an old gas water heater without having to enlarge the chase. The wiring for the Wi-Fi module is also straightforward. You just plug it into a nearby outlet and follow the app prompts. In a house where the existing gas line is already in the basement, the transition was a single-day job for a licensed installer. However, if your gas line runs through a crawl space or you have limited clearance, you'll need to factor in extra labor costs for routing the vent and ensuring proper clearance for combustion air. That's a hidden trade-off that many buyers overlook until the quote comes back higher than expected. The Wi-Fi connectivity isn't just a gimmick. Through the Rheem app, you can monitor real-time temperature, set schedules for the recirculation pump, and even receive alerts if the unit detects a fault. During a week of heavy usage, the app notified me that the inlet temperature dropped unexpectedly, prompting a quick check of the gas pressure. The issue turned out to be a temporary dip in the municipal supply, and the unit automatically adjusted the fire rate to maintain the set temperature. For anyone who likes to keep an eye on home systems from their phone, that remote visibility adds a layer of peace of mind that you don't get with a conventional tank. Now, who should consider buying the IKONIC? If you have a moderate-sized household, value instant hot water, and are comfortable with a slightly higher upfront cost for a unit that includes recirculation and smart controls, this is a solid choice. The 15-year limited warranty also gives long-term confidence, especially compared to the 6 to 10-year warranties you see on many competing models. Homeowners who have already upgraded to low-flow fixtures will see the most benefit because the 8.4 GPM flow isn't being throttled by older, high-draw shower heads. On the other hand, you might want to skip this model if you live in a small apartment or a studio where the water demand never exceeds 4 GPM. In that scenario, you're paying for capacity you'll never use, and a smaller, less expensive tankless.